If you're watching this, this is meant for you. It was time for you to know this. Hi, welcome back. First off, it's been way too long since I've sat here on this couch and came and speak to my girls. So I am here on an impromptu to come and speak to you because this is something that is on my heart. I just got back from work and I was like, I have something to say. And I can't wait to share it. If you're new here, my name is Senya, and if you're not, of course, welcome back. If you're watching this, this is meant for you. It was time for you to know this. What has been on my heart today is just the fact that lately I have been thinking about all of the things that I didn't do for these past couple of years or few years in my 20s because I just wasn't thinking clearly and I was letting my emotions get the best of me, which now when I'm in a better headspace and have clarity, I look back and I think about certain times in my life where I could have changed the trajectory of how I felt at that time instead of just putting my head down and just feeling like, okay, like I just have to get through this, instead of really realizing that like, oh my goodness, all of this stuff is happening to me right now, but I have so much opportunity to be able to move forward and change my life, change my situation, and have so many more new experiences. That's where this conversation's coming from. I want to start off by saying that I know it's not easy when you feel like you're in your emotions and you're just down in the dumps, or you're just going through a very tough time in your life, especially in their 20s, like in your early 20s, like you're still going through it in your later 20s, but it's a little bit easier. You have a little bit more clarity. But when you feel like you just can't catch a break and you don't know what to do and you feel lost, not only maybe whether you're in school, not in school, your career, whether it's starting or you're in it, or where you want to be, who you want to be, who you want to be with, who you want to be friends with, and who you want to be with romantically, and all of these things that you have to figure out in your early 20s, and you just get so lost and time just passes by so quickly that you don't even know what to do, and maybe you just sit and sulk and just let life and moments pass you by. But if you're watching this, I got to you just in time, so you don't let any more time just pass by. When you are feeling like you're so lost and you don't know what to do or you don't know who to turn to, the best thing you can do is look within yourself and really remember what you wanted to do before the world was telling you what you can't do. You think of these things that you want to do or have a peak of your interest, and maybe you just put that to the side and you don't think about it. But instead of doing that, the next time you have that thought of something that you may have an interest in, it can be something crazy, something out of your most wildest dreams. Write that down and don't forget about it and start to explore that more. And once you start to explore that more, it may be that thing that's really just going to get you and rock your world in that good way. Or it might be something just to lead you to something else that's even bigger and better and greater than you were even thinking about. But take that time, and take this time if you are feeling not so good, take this time to explore what it is that you want to do. Because if you're feeling not so good, there are a multitude of reasons that could be the reason, or is just one reason. But if you take the time to write it down and write down all of that stuff that you're feeling, and then you think about it and you just let it out, and then once you let it out, go on a walk, take a deep breath, just meditate a little bit, just breathe, just take a second and just breathe. And then once you do that, you can either write down all the things that you want to do or things that pique your interest, and you can just start researching and just diving deep into those things. If that's not where you're at, then maybe you should take that time to really just give yourself some care. Give yourself some love and some thought in a moment where you don't really feel like that's happening in your life. Give yourself that time to love yourself, and it can just be something as so small as taking a really nice everything shower, getting in bed, watching your favorite movie. It could be going to bed on time, going to bed early. Anything that is just so small and so simple that most of the time we take for granted. But if you just take that time for yourself and really just breathe, and just knowing that you are going to be okay and it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, then you will be so much closer to living that life that you want and spending so much less time thinking about what's going on right now and all of those things that are just like clouding your judgment on what it is that you want to do. I'm going to share a little bit about my story on why this is so heavy on my heart, and into hopes that it helps you not waste time. When I was 22, or technically 21, but I always say 22 because that's kind of really where it was like, whew. I think 21 was just like the beginning. The beginning of life, just like lifing. But when I was 21, I got in a terrible accident, all my fault. But based on like relationship on how I got in an accident, but I felt like I handled that really well in the best I could anyways. I left that relationship immediately. I realized that if I'm going to damage my life this much, then that means I'm loving someone more than I love myself. And that's just not okay. I knew that very quickly, but it was funny because I like passed the first test, but then like it took a while to like pass the other tests. But when I was 22, I started to go through all these things and I was just so depressed and I just didn't feel good about myself. Like I would look in the mirror and I no longer felt like that girl. I didn't feel like that girl. And that was just weird. I didn't know. And I was like searching for myself so much, like high and low. And I just like was just so confused and I was so alone, like in every aspect. Like it was like, I was just feeling so depressed that like when I were in crowded rooms, like I felt lonely. Like I had anxiety, like it's just all the things. And it was just so crazy because like it was at the start of me living by myself. And I feel like that should have been a time where I should have been really embracing the time. But I was just so caught up emotionally and just feeling so unsupported and so alone that like I just really didn't even know what to do. And now that I'm in a better space, like I think about all the things that I could have done differently. And I just was so lost that like it was like really a test of time of just even like the people that were around me, friends, family, saying certain things like about me to me, just was so lost about who I was at the time that like it really did affect me and really had me questioning like who I was and who I thought I was ever to be. Now I'm finally at a point to where all of those things that were said about me, now I just realized like they were just projections and just things in others that were trying to bring me down because they saw a light in me that I didn't see. If you're in one of those positions where you feel lonely and you feel like everyone's turning on you, that could be the case. When you feel like you're just being shunned and you really, like you genuinely can't really figure out like what's wrong with you, then most likely there's not much wrong with you. But things like that are just crazy. People say crazy things when they don't feel good, and don't let that be you. Don't let that cloud your judgment on who you are. And if you genuinely know in your soul that you're a good person, no one's perfect obviously, but a good person, then let that be the fire that lights you, makes you stand on your own 2 feet and protect yourself. Go for what it is that you want in life continuously, being unapologetically yourself, having the know-with-all to know that just because someone says something about you doesn't mean that it's true. Knowing yourself, if you're in this time right now where like you're not knowing who you are, you could possibly be in a transition. You are in a transition of finding out who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. And that can sound like a very confusing place, honestly. I get it. But to be completely honest, it's a beautiful place to be on because you can reinvent yourself right now. You can decide that like one day you wanted to be that and now you don't, because this is your life. You can do whatever you want to do. Explore that. Explore who it is that you want to be. Explore that side of you and be unapologetically exploring who it is that you want to be and those things that you want to do. Just know that do everything with the sense of feeling optimistic about your situation. Don't look at your situation like this is the end all be all, because it's not. This is just the journey to who it is that you want to be. What you seek is seeking you, and take this time to live and forgive yourself for what was, what is, and explore all those possibilities. If you get new opportunities to explore a different passion of yours or anything, take that time to give yourself the grace that you deserve, the love that you deserve, and always be speaking life into your life. into yourself. Your brain only knows what you tell it. Do not let your brain drive you crazy, and know that you are on this earth for a reason, to be a beautiful person and to live a beautiful life, and you would not be here if that wasn't so. You are here to live that life you've always wanted to live. So that's all I have to say today, but that was just what I had to say. I didn't really have a script for this, so I hope you got from that something that can help you. And if there is anything that you want me to expand on, please let me know. I would be glad to do that, because this is not something that I scripted out today or had a plan on saying, but I just felt like it was something on my heart that you needed to hear. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And as always, I will see you next time.